Hi, my name is Yang NAFISA binti NASARUDDIN. My matrix number is 201091068. Okay, we start with the input. We use a water level sensor that we measure from the three types of river that we declare as RS1, river sensor 1, RS2, and RS3. For the output, we declare as M1, M2, M3, which is M1 is minor flood, M2 is moderate flood, and lastly M3 is major flood. Our group is assumed that a water level sensor will be activated in a sequence. Okay, by looking from this truth table, we have RS3, RS2, and RS1. When the condition is 000, there is no warning, and then it start with a condition 001. It will display M1, which is a minor flood warning, and then when the condition is 011, it will display M1, M2, and the latest warning is M2, which is a moderate flood warning. Lastly, when the condition is 111, it will display from M1, M2, M3, and the latest is M3, which is a major flood warning. In this project, our group is choose to do a Mealy model, which is it has a three state, which is state normal, warning, and danger. After we assume all the condition in this state diagram, we can create a state transition table. And after we get a state transition table, we can create a circuit with a JK flip-flop.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is SHAHAR. I will explain about the circuit for the flood warning system and do a simulation. Okay, this is my name, SHAHAR, and metric number 201091067. Okay, based on the state diagram using Mealy model and the transition table created, this is the circuit for our flood warning system with JK flip-flop. Okay, for our flood warning system, RS or river sensor are at different location. RS will be activated in sequence. It means that RS2 will not be activated if RS1 is not activated. And if we zoom in, the JK flip-flop is positive is triggered because there is no bubble on the clock input. Okay, I will do a simulation. Okay, when river sensor 1 active and the clock high, and the output M1 will be activated. So minor flooding, it will start taking precaution by comparing data day by day. And we give the clock low, next, and river sensor 2 active and clock high again. You can see that the output for M2 and M1 will be activated. For the M2, moderate flooding, controller will start send SMS notification for all mobile users. And we give the clock low again, next, and river sensor 3 active, clock high again. Okay, you can see that the output is M1, M2, M3 will be active. For the M3 major flooding, gate will be closed and indicator will start alerting. I can try this. Okay, river sensor 1 active, M1 will be active. River sensor 2 and river sensor 1 active, M2, M1 will be active. River sensor 3 active, M1, M2, M3 will be active. Okay, when coming to the input that have not valid, we can ignore the output. For example, at state 1, state 2, no output are triggered, so we can set that this output is invalid. Nothing has been triggered, so we can ignore. We come to invalid input, there is no output triggered, so we can ignore the output. No output is triggered. Okay, that is all from me. This is our script for our flood warning system. Thank you.
To develop a CAD map from this circuit, we use this website, which is charliecoleman.com. We can set the input name here, output name here, and then after that we can change this condition from the truth table that we refer. After we change it, we can get the Boolean expression for this circuit.
Hi, my name is XIANG. Today I'm going to present about our project title, which is named by Flood Warning System. So as we know that in Malaysia, the flood is one of the major disasters which affect many people in many countries around the world. So in Malaysia, the river flood and the flash flood are two common floods that are usually occurs every year. So our system that named by the flood warning system is one of the technology that can be used to prevent the losses of the line during the floods happening, especially meaning in the east coast state like Kelantan, Terengganu, and Pahang. Next, for the problem statement, most of the flood warning techniques are based on the telemetry system, which require transmitter and repeated to the relay the information to central terminals. The approach is expensive and is not reliable when there is multifunction of equipment in some of the section in the sense area. So there are three objectives, which is the first one is used to indicate the water level is at minor flood stage. The secondly is used to indicate the water level is at the moderate flood stage. So for the third one is used to indicate the water level is at the major flood stage. So that's all. The third one is used to indicate the water level is at the major flood stage. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is SITI BINTI ROSSLI, metric number 201091053. So, here I will explain about project impact into society or industry. Project impact into society or industry as cost-effective solution to limit flood disaster damage. Flood early warning system play a vital part in the disaster risk reduction paradigm. When a dangerous weather event is approaching or has occurred, a flood warning is issued. When flooding is imminent or occurring, a flood warning is issued. There are three different levels of flood warning that are issued when bad weather strikes, including flood forecasting is inextricably tied to the process of issuing a flood warning. Individuals or communities are affected by floods, which have social, economic, and environmental effects. Floods have a wide range of bad and beneficial repercussions depending on the location and extent of the flooding, as well as the sensitivity and value of the natural and built environment they influence. Floods have a wide range of harmful and beneficial outcomes depends on their location, duration, depth and speed, as well as the sensitivity and value of the natural and built environment affected. For example, the immediate effect of flood includes loss of life, property damage, crop devastation, animal loss, and infrastructure failure. Flash flood, which occurs suddenly and with little or no notice, kill more people than slow-moving rivering floods. Next, it also reduces purchasing and manufacturing power. Infrastructure damage has long-term consequences, including disruptions in clean water and energy transportation, communication, education, and healthcare. The last advantage is psychosocial effect. The huge psychosocial effect on flood victims and their families can traumatize them for a long period of time. In addition to causing damage to homes, business, agriculture, and transport networks, flooding can significantly decrease a country's gross domestic product, which is GDP, in direct proportion to the area of land flood. In particular, flood damage to road, rail network, and critical transportation hubs like maritime ports in particular have a big impact on regional and national economy. In conclusion, this project will aid authorities in managing the flood situation in Malaysia. It was able to record the water level and signal to main controller. Flood might be frightening, but it is up to us to ensure that they do not disrupt our daily life. Ponds, lakes, and other water reservoirs should all be kept in good condition. Flood can be prevented if soil conditions are improved, allowing for easier water absorption. Flood warning system is data collected by monitoring system, could be utilized to power flood warning system that send out alert and trigger warning automatically. This device could be used to warn flood response teams or the general public about impending hazard. The provision of advance warning of conditions that are likely to cause flooding of property and a potential risk to life is known as flood warning. The primary goal of a flood warning is to save life by giving people, their support system, and emergency responder enough time to prepare for flooding. That's all from us. Thank you.